Here we are, the conclusion to the Lion Garu Garu and the Inukai drama. The episode begins the morning after episode 6, with Komugi sleeping under a bench in the dog park after running away. When she wakes up, she goes to greet Iroha before realizing that she ran away and Iroha isn't there. She consoles herself, though, reasoning all the ways she can have fun on her own. That is, until Satoru finds her and asks where Iroha is. She breaks down, crying more heavily than the rain the previous night. I was not expecting this. Komugi and Satoru? Alone without Iroha? Heck yes, expand on the main cast's dynamics. Thank you. Iroha wakes up to discover that Komugi is gone. She rushes to ask her parents if they know where she could have gone, and unlike last time, they take this very seriously and help their daughter look for her dog. They can't find her anywhere, and there's this really funny moment where her dad jokingly says that unless Komugi can unlock and open doors, she must still be in the house, right? And then it pans over to Iroha's comically horrified face. I genuinely laughed out loud. Iroha calls Meme so that both of them can freak out about it together. Iroha has to hide Meme from her mom as she comes in to tell her that she has a call from Satoru, telling her that Komugi is at his house. She says she'll be right over, but he tells her to wait a bit, since Komugi has been crying. I commend him for this. It shows he really knows what he's doing when it comes to this sort of conflict resolution. At Satoru's house, we see Komugi and Daifuku together, with Komugi asking if his grass snack is good. Apparently he says she can try it because she does. This is what Satoru walks in on, and he's flabbergasted to realize that Komugi can talk to Daifuku. I love this fact because it does mean that Komugi and Daifuku are friends. Buddies. Maybe even besties if I'm lucky. We also learn from Komugi that Daifuku talks in a cool fashion. It's honestly super funny, and I'm hoping more than ever that he gets a human form and voice so we can hear him speak like this for himself. Satoru comments that it's so cool that she can talk not only to Daifuku, but to Iroha as well, and that he's a little envious of their new relationship. He loves Daifuku, but he can't communicate with him the same way Komugi and Iroha can now communicate. Komugi says she always wanted to, but now that they can, they've just ended up arguing. Satoru gets to the heart of the matter, and asks her why she became a Precure in the first place. Before we can get her answer, though, we get a Mayu scene! We discover that the thing she made is a little walk harness for Komugi. It's adorable, and Mayu's mom's support of her incredibly anxious daughter is even more so. Even I wouldn't sheepishly ask my cat if she wants to come with me to a social interaction so I don't have to go alone. Mayu is on another level, man. I love her for it, though. Anyway, back at the Toyama residence, Satoru and Komugi are having a lovely heart-to-heart. Komugi says she became Precured because Iroha was in danger, and she wanted to be with her, but now that Iroha's angry with her, well, she catastrophizes a bit, saying that Iroha hates her because she's useless. But as Satoru points out, she never asked Iroha if that's how she felt, and suggests that the two of them have a proper conversation. Communication goes both ways, after all. Man, I am really, really enjoying this season's focus on communication so far. It's a vital skill that people aren't usually specifically taught like this, and I keep thinking of all the kids watching this who are going to grow up with a better understanding of just how to talk to each other, especially with the inclusion of an anxious character like Mayu. It's just great, and I genuinely wish there was an American equivalent that taught these same skills. Goodness knows people need them. Mayu manages to get to the Inukai residence to give the harness to Iroha, and we get to see her lovely anxious self in action. I really enjoyed the look in her head where she's wondering how to console Iroha about her argument with Komugi, and we see all her thoughts running by in the background behind her until it just devolves into panicked sounds. That really is how it feels sometimes. Iroha notices that Mayu's limbs are covered in scratches, and she explains that they've all come from Yuki, since she is a cat, after all. Mayu says she really doesn't mind, though, since she loves Yuki. As someone with a huge scratch on my face from my own kitten at this moment, yeah. She gives Iroha the gift and is blindsided by a hug. It's such a sweet moment. It's Garu Garu time, and believe it or not, we get to see one of our season's villains. Yeah, besides the Garu Garu. I'm shocked. We only see this guy as a cloaked, floating wolf, I want to say? He tells the Garu Garu to destroy everything humans have made, which is a very interesting take. I wonder if they're going to expand on the conflict that they briefly introduced in the last episode of Healin' Good, where some of the Healin' animals thought that humans were part of the problem. But then, of course, they never got to do anything with that since it was the last episode. Good communication is going to solve this problem somehow, and I am very excited to see how that happens. The lion starts rampaging again, and of course, everyone hears. Komugi says she's going to go fight it because that's what Iroha would do, and what Iroha is going to do, so she has to go and apologize. Before she heads off, though, she reveals that Daifuku calls Satoru a real one. Which, oh my gosh, I need more from Daifuku right now. It's a good thing I'm writing this the evening episode 8 comes out. I'm sorry I'm being so slow with these. I'm doing my best to make them more timely in the future. Anyway, the fight begins. I am actually calling this one a fight because the lion at least is attacking, and the girls take hits. In particular, Friendy was getting beaten up pretty bad, and Wonderful overcomes her bone-deep fear of the lion to save her. Save her, just like Iroha saved her as a puppy, and just like Iroha saves everyone else, because she's just a great person, and Komugi truly admires her for that. This scene was so good. I'm not crying yet, but I'm hopeful the season will get a few tears out of me by the end. Friendy runs after Wonderful after she takes a hit, and they have that conversation Satoru told them to have. Iroha's idea of everyone getting along, of the world being a fabulous place, her wonderful, so to speak. Komugi wants to protect it. That's why she became Cure Wonderful, really, and she wants to keep protecting it with Friendy at her side. So they made up. Best making up scene I've seen Precure do. This was genuinely so sweet, huh? The fight resumes, and with all the feelings out in the open and healthy communication achieved, they have the magic to actually do something about it this time. Specifically, Wonderful manages to call on the penguin using the friendly tact. She was the only one in her way the whole time. In addition to that, we finally get an actual finisher. 7 episodes in, but whatever. The friend Liberare is not super over the top, but it's so wonderful and friendly, and I loved every second of the new stock footage. Plus, have I mentioned, I am a sucker for even the tiniest of form changes? The ears and tail, guys. It's so cute. This is what I am here for. They send the Kirarin lion home, and we get to see him restore his slice of the Nico garden in the same episode he gets there for once. Of course, when Meme turns to talk to Iroha and Komugi about it, they are already gone. Back home, together again, Komugi puts on the harness Mayu made for her. Iroha says they can go on an extra long walk, but the leash won't be the same one they usually use. Komugi says that as long as Iroha's holding it, it doesn't matter. The episode ends with them deciding to use a pose together when they transform, which makes me hopeful for a duo transformation in the near future. Well, an hour or so away from current me. Whoops. I loved this episode so much. It's my favorite yet, actually. Episode 6 has been my least favorite, so I was pleasantly surprised to find myself enjoying this one so much. I mentioned before that I just adore the communication theming, and it really is true. It's one of the most important things in day-to-day life, and a whole Precure season focused on it isn't something I ever considered, but I'm so glad it's being done like it is. Until next time!